And we're back. Looks like I'm gonna need to figure out how to keep my ship powered and happy. Although, it does seem to be charging on its own pretty nicely, so before I start grinding things up, let me look into taking and making myself a nice little okay. Okay, that's kind of funny. Carefully take these downstairs because I've seen how rough the sea can get, and my luck is I will end up with these falling off the ship. And that does give me the iron I need to bring the cable over here. Okay. So general thing I've figured out is nighttime is scary. So we're gonna pump that in there and let's check on our power. Our power should be relatively good. No, it doesn't help that's nighttime, but I have learned my lesson. And I will be getting inside the building. Because overnight, the leeches come out. Now, let's check our build menu. Let's increase power management again. While I would normally build a more aggressive build, having a reduction in power usage is generally one of the better things. I can't really see a good use for a better flashlight right now. Not anywhere that, you know, I can't see with relative ease. Really need the small containers. I don't want to be making them. Because while it would generate me some power, I believe, at the end of the day, it's not as useful. And the fabricator and the recycler, having them here would be very useful to have, so I'm probably gonna pick up both of those. Medium crate, because storage is king. Medium generator. I don't have the ability to handle that right now. Not to mention, I feel like It's a little bit redundant. It'd be me building petrol to carry petrol around. Flamethrower would be nice. Water cable. Water purifier. Again, don't really know what the use of that is. Extra diesel tank would be nice, but the medium battery would probably be the big winner there. Oxygen tanks, I'm assuming those are useful for swimming. Duplication, that's interesting. I was expecting to see a large battery. There's a medium battery there, but they don't expect you to actually build that much of an extra charge. Yeah, this is why I'm in here, because it turns out those are susceptible to sunlight. Also, even though I'm using quite a bit of power to carry my stuff around, which I should go drop off in the ship at some point. Interesting. I think having a recycler that I can move would be useful. Yeah, if you do need biomass, these are really useful, because you can just go boop. And as you can see, they create a very decent sized swarm that gives quite a bit of biomass. Or they will jump from everywhere, so generally speaking, I would suggest, as sunlight starts to come up, to convince the little buddies to step out. Okay. Hmm. Okay, that should, in theory, speed up the charging. Nope. As you can see, they're still trying to swim out of the ocean and get me, but sunlight does them a bit bad. Oop. Oh, we need to charge me, because I need to survive. We'll then get the ship charging just a moment. I realized, I believe the solar cells actually move on their own, which is quite neat. Yeah, you can hear the little motors running. Nifty. Not that far overweight. Why am I... whatever. Let's go back to charging up the boat. So, as silly as it sounds, the main objective of this game is to salvage stuff. And that is not always an easy job. Okay. Rubber and plastic, I guess that would be what that would be made of. Yeah, let's avoid the naval mine and see what we can do. What would be nice would be if we had a cart that I could use to move some items. Okay. Not expecting to see a petrol tank in there, but I guess I must have dropped it in there at some point. Go put those upstairs. Also, big old storm. Yeah, I'm not really fond of that there. But see. Power's fluctuating, but I am refueling, and that is what those little like leech things are really good for, is getting the power back. Gonna grab a little bit more to bring down there and grind up, but I want to make sure I'm only doing a couple at a time. I don't want to be too boring. Nope, missed. Okay, grab all this. Come here. Okay. Okay. And J. You do have to be careful because it just takes one accident and you would end up depositing something you probably didn't want to. Okay. Go take a look, see what we can find. There's a couple interesting things going on. We'll start by shutting down this place. Get tools. 4, because useful. Too bad I can't bring those with me, but it is what it is. Let's gather up. Because cables are actually important. Now, just because I might be coming back here, I will keep the power production up. Just because I know I don't get as efficient of a return. Go around, gather up. And, you know, little bio wastes and things of that nature. I don't think there's any more people in here, but I can always check. Also, I don't know if I can hit you from here. There we go. Okay. People are actually worth a decent amount of material, so. More meat for the grinder, as it were. Even if they aren't meat and they're robots. Let that do its thing, go up here. Deposit things that are useful. If I'm messing up, I'm not gonna know, because fortunately I haven't played the demo far enough to have any issues, because when you left, you were gone. I will borrow power. Well, not borrow. I will use power from the boat. Simply because at the end of the day, the boat should keep recharging. I probably won't. And that technically makes us a free looting. Sorry about that. Open this up and just drop it in. Okay. What could possibly go wrong having all the explosive stuff right in the middle of the boat? Bring the anchors up. Back inside, so I need to go around here and turn around, and I think we should... It is a bit complicated. Let's see. Because I want to get the fuel, because, you know, my gut tells me fuel is one of the most useful resources I can use, but I think we're gonna go there for now. It is good to know, though, that if I just wait till night, the leeches will attempt to sink my boat. And when they attempt to sink the boat, I can convert them into fuel. Okay. I also remembered to drop the dragnet, so while I've got a second... Oop, don't fall off the boat. I believe this can go up to 14. Yeah, so once that is up to like 14.9 or something, I'll pull it in and get what I can out of it. I'm not going to attempt to deal with the sharks yet, because generally speaking, I feel like that would be a good way to not be around for very much longer. Oof, we do burn through fuel quite heavily. Problem is, I have nothing to tell me that... I don't know what that was. But I have nothing to tell me that, you know, moving slower is more efficient or anything to that knowledge. Although there could be something, I just haven't read it through the database because it's a bit chunky right now. I'm sure there are those who would really enjoy reading through a database, but hey. Correct. Take all. Time to get back to the ship before something gets me. Yeah, because those sink once you get... let me deposit the resources, because if I've learned anything, it's that I am far more efficient at lower weight. Yeah, I think for now, I'm good with my little solar panels. I'm sure they're less efficient than the big ones, just... Okay, do I have like a radar? Hmm. Weird. Let's hoist the anchor. So we actually see the anchor come up. So that we're not wasting fuel just pulling against it. Actually, while that's going, let me just check how my solar panels are doing. Okay. Okay, and the full. Let's move out and check this area that is at least on the map. Oop, pull back up. Wrong button. At least on the map listed as fuel. I do need to get a data cable at some point. Gas cable, water cable. Yeah, I don't see a data cable. It's odd because these things have a thing for it. It just doesn't seem to care one way or another. Refueling outpost sounds great. Not so great that it's nighttime because means we are going to be finding a lot of things that are less than friendly. Like what, possibly sharks? Okay, let's drop our anchor, get our speed down, raise the anchor, just because. Okay, go there. Okay, so flying things are... like... Wells at home. Oh, these are actual pretzel tanks that are damaged. Although, I don't know what that is. But... oh, bees. Of course it's bees. Why wouldn't it be bees? Okay. So, like there is a building. That requires power. If I had to guess, there is nothing power providing out here, so let's see. Oh, our little leechy friends are back. Let's get indoors. Yeah. Awesome. Like, I could probably power this place just with my backpack at this point, but really what I want to try to do. Add the missing parts to the queue. We will wait out the night. My question is there a way to convert petrol to fuel, or is it just used for generating power? Unfortunately, it looks like I have to go to intermission. I have a small thing to take care of, but we will be back, and when we're back, we will finish waiting out the night. Sorry about that, everyone. Had to take a diaper changing intermission. I wish I could be out there at night, but doesn't really feel like that's a great idea. Another thing is, you can edit the rails, but I don't think I saw anything that was specifically designed for that. Let me check down here. Okay, so that's if I switch to a physical object pistol, which might be a thing, might not. Depends on if I'm going to be hunting sharks. Oh, there we go, so laser sight, that could be useful. That is a great sound. Although, should probably step away from here so that they all get oh yes, follow me through the sun. You know, your best friend is sunlight. You know what? Let's grab this. And at least for right this instant. Right. Didn't think that through. Okay. Now, let's deal with these guys, because they're not really welcome on board my boat. Okay, I see that this is missing power, but don't actually see how I'm supposed to get power into it. Oh. And that is why you're supposed to keep your gun charged. Okay. Okay. Thankfully. Be extra careful. Okay, so hidden little room, but nothing specifically useful. Oop. Okay, so bees get angry. I don't know what they're protecting, but they will pop for it. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I can fix that issue right there, but I can climb up here and gather a bunch of stuff. Nothing particularly useful on the roofs. Ooh. Well, that's one way to hurt yourself quite substantially. Okay. There. How did you get free? Okay, so that is the fuel I'm looking for. Okay. Neat, but not quite what I was looking for. Also, let's put the weapon away before I accidentally convert myself into a holy man, and by holy I mean full of holes. Okay, so let's there. There. And go there. That should... Okay, how'd that grow back? I could have sworn I got it all, but... Gonna have to come over here. And apparently one of the moorings has come loose. That is not a great start. Okay. Let's just go over there and try to fuel up my ship. Also, go up here and drop the anchors. Yeah, at the end of the day, not a lot I can do. Okay, I don't have an actual petrol thing. I could unlock it, but I don't know how useful that's going to be. Yes, having the petrol generator would help, but I think the biggest issue I'm going to have is going to be getting the petrol generator here. I think the worst part is I have no way of knowing which side is power. Hopefully, I'll be able to move it if I need to. Based off what I've noticed, I don't believe I'll be able to, even with everything. Okay. Although that is convenient. I can go boop. Okay. That makes them a little easier to deal with. look, fuel cables. That's also makes things easier to deal with. Theory, I should be able to go here, to there, to there, to there. By doing this in this particular fashion, should be able to get a decent amount of the fuel. Now, in theory, I don't really have a use for these, but I'm not really feeling like disassembling all of them just because not only do I not get all the resources back, which I'm gonna have to figure out, but going to be sitting here and trying to determine a lot of things. Okay, so as far as I can tell, my fuel should be good. My power just isn't, but it's not really a big deal. Okay, so I need aluminum, and iron, so honestly, let's see if all this has what I need. At this point, I'm mostly doing this so that I can empty it. No. Okay, so I only had to fix one. That is actually really, really convenient. Just because I can take this, come over here, connect that to there, and then boop. Waste a whole bunch of fuel because excuse me, Mr. Mooring. I said Mr. Mooring. Not an awful lot of useful stuff here, but that's worth me investing the time. Fuel's full. Power's creeping up nice and quickly. I would absolutely love to build some reserve tanks on my ship and not have to worry about refilling it, but that's gonna be a problem for another day. Just because quite literally nighttime is approaching and I don't want to have to deal with some of the issues that arise overnight. Especially seeing as this is a relatively efficient way to generate and use power. At least from what I'm observing. Although, yeah, sorry buddy, you're too heavy. Into the grinder you go. Power me, not my firearm. Open this up. Toss the trash in for now. Power my farm. And power my backpack. Okay. Now, since I'm already here, might as well come here. Add 2 of those. I have to guess that the hinges are on the back. Hey. And we will save our biomass. Okay. Our power is still at least attempting to build. Hmm. That could be useful to have an actual weapon instead of just a zappy gun. But I feel like if I'm going to go that way, I'm going to wait for the bolt rifle. I don't feel like the electrical rifle would be useful. The bolt sniper sounds great. Hmm. It's interesting. Okay, let's... prep to leave. Okay. Daylight is coming up, so we should be able to cause most of these to just self-destruct. And at this point, since I can't bring the fuel with me, try for the best that I got it down. And while I'm here, might as well grab a... Right? I see you. I know who you are. It is mostly a pain in my butt, not actually a danger. Okay. That back. I'm not building anything right now, and I'm not making fuel right now, so... I think it's best time I get out of here. While that's going, just sneak down and give me a... Give me a second, just need to do another intermission. I apologize about that intermission. Fortunately, when you own cats, they have a habit of being cats. Also, I should probably check where I'm going to ensure I'm not about to drive into a landmine. Well, that'd be a bigger issue. My real concern is a sea mine. I think I need to stop in order to get that, so we are going to hit the emergency brake. Especially because the complex is right there and easily found. Oh. There we go. That's why it was misbehaving. It was me being a fool. We deposit our trash. Deposit similar. IOC weed. It is interesting that you can get other things out of it, but at this point I don't know if I have a use for the other things that I can get out of it. Okay. I don't know if in the corner that is my total miles traveled or how much mileage I have left with the fuel I have, only because I have a decent amount of fuel and power. And there are some other places I could visit. I just don't know how far in the game I can go, so I'm gonna have to be careful. But if this does end up being a run ender, I will happily oops, sorry. Got a little fuzzy buddy trying to bite my hand. But if this is the run ender, I will load back up and we will go around and explore the map and see what we can find. Okay, let's see. At least you're right this instant. Let's check the map out. There's not really a lot of things on it at this moment in time, so not a lot to think about or worry about, but I'm sure the game will find plenty of ways of making things terrifying or dangerous or interesting. Anyways, we'll figure it out. I have to guess that that's going to be the docking station for the complex. Right there. Ooh, getting a little bit of lag. It's surprising because I have a relatively good.
The Lazarus complex. Its halls lie dormant, waiting for you to bring it back to life.
Okay, yeah, that sounded great, but I don't think this is the kind of planet that humans want to be brought back onto, especially not right now when, you know, food and water is generally not there, and there's weird flying things in the sky that cannot be explained. Are they look like robot bodies, which, while is a concern, actually has me more concerned. If I go down here, grab this, hop into the sea, and then go boop. In theory, that means my boat should start drifting closer. Now I think I have to go in here, pull up the anchors, and let it drift in. Lift the anchor. And just for argument's sake, drop the anchor back down. No power. That seems to be the thing I anticipated. Let's just loot these. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Why would you build an upper section that goes nowhere? Also, why make a area you can't really get back from? Like, I understand that it's supposed to be a bit of a parkour area, but okay, make sure you put your firearms away before attempting the parkour area, because the parkour area can be very noisy otherwise. Let's use this, just in case I need to throw it away from me.
The power's offline. We can't access the Hall of Humanity unless you find the main power. It should be on the roof.
Saw that. Up the ladder, because I don't want anything to do with that water. There is a lot of things here that are questionable. And at this point, it might be better off if I don't use power to do anything. Charge the farm. Okay. That's a thing. Don't know how this has power when nothing else does, but... Let's see. And let's do our backup to slot 1. So that we have 20 to work with. Let's see. Okay, maybe it is time to switch over to an actual flashlight. Just because that was feeling a bit too... Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed that. Hey! Sorry. I apologize. My cat is attempting to get as many snuggles as he can and is very upset, and showing so by biting. So hopefully he will behave himself. But probably not. Oh. Okay. How am I supposed to make... Like, I'm pretty sure that I'm going this way. But it doesn't quite feel like an actual guarantee so much as a... You should try this. There's a ladder loop of faith. Because it's not worrisome enough without the idea of falling into whatever's under. Also, I'm sure you guys can hear that. But something is operating. Also, why are things dying trying to get up here? Yeah, I'm not gonna let you rebuild. Okay. Back to glow stick power. Most glow sticks don't use power. And that makes life a little easier. And this is supposed to be where the power is now. Does not quite feel like this is where the power is. It feels like this is just where I have to get up to the roof and deal with whatever poorly managed and designed power supply they built. Oh, goody. There we go. Oh. Very well thrown thingies. Okay, I'm guessing that's supposed to be something to help me hide from anything. Are you friendly? That probably would have been a area where they want to do grenades or something. Again, hi, are you friendly? Maybe? Oh? What do I have that is... Okay, so it very much feels like I'm going to be hoping for okay, that requires power to gain ancient, so that's probably not it. This doesn't require power, so that's probably the room that's got... Yep. Okay. Let's go in here. Go deposit junk. Come back here, pick up all this junk. It's going to slow me down, but should be able to deposit the rest of that junk. Take this. Power on.
Power is restored. Now we can enter the Hall of Humanity.
No, I really can't, but hey. Good to know you think I can. Okay. Now, we want to make sure that we connect that to that. And probably gonna want to connect that to that, but right now, oh, humane authorization required. Let's go take a look at this at least while... Okay. At least where I can will be grabbing plastic and burn. Here, and we'll be increasing power as and when we can. Okay, that should overload me, but I'm overloaded. I might have just what I need. Yep. Repair these. And by repairing things, I can at least slightly bring all this down. Okay. Okay, let's see if that had any of the materials I needed. Now, at least in theory, should give me space to work. Does take a minute. I'll hit everything, take my cables back, because you never really know when you're gonna need cables. Okay, so if I go here and do that, that should not have worked, but okay. Before I go making friends with the Abyss, first, there we go. Get the feeling there's going to be a boss fight here, and that is why all of this is the way it is, with hiding spots and things of that nature. Also, genuinely a less than happy memory. It's like I'm playing Far Cry, climbing radio towers. It is interesting seeing all these. Until I get a projectile weapon, I'm not really going to have much say in some of them. But if I can just hold off a little bit more, what is it? Level 11, that is a bit of a ways away, but I'm sure I can get there eventually. However, putting that down would probably for the best. Iron, copper, and plastic. Sure, let's just climb down. Iron, copper, plastic. That should be a relatively easy thing to work with. I'm surprised the power has stayed on as long as it has. Let's see. Pile the trash. Pull it off a 5 stack. Pull it off a 5 stack. Pile all that. Split off a 5 stack. 5 stack. A 5 stack. And we'll go up and see what we can see. I know I'm definitely jumping ahead, but at the end of the day, it should give me a little bit of an advantage in the event something is trying to get me and I'm supposed to be fixing it. And now that the array is fixed, I can loot this, take this, drop you over the edge. I don't know if that's gonna be safe. I feel like I shouldn't do that unless I've got a parachute. Okay, that kind of works. Well, let's go see what we can see. Because, you know, this is definitely not. Excuse me. And look, a bunch of crazy things.
Welcome to the true meaning of your existence. This is what we were made for. You've proven that what was lost can still matter. Carry this truth forward, Caretaker. There is much yet to be done. The Lazarus racks have stood empty and broken long enough. Restore one to working order. It's our only hope of bringing humanity back from the silence. The relay atop the Lazarus waits quietly. Its guidance is crucial. Bring it back online, Caretaker, and let its signal shine again.
Okay, so these guys have a lot that they need. Also, need fresh water, which I feel like those things I shouldn't have to be as worried about as I am. Guessing these are water pumps, which would be quite useful. Also, looks like that battery charger finally gave out, which is to be anticipated. Okay. Well, let's go right. Power sheet, so let's go get the power back up online. Okay. Definitely one of those things that gonna need power for. Okay, get up the stairs and connect the actual power grid up before I lose my mind. Okay, so that's the top. Take our power cable that's here and connect it. That way I at least have some power. I'll just take everything for now. Let me put the fuel back. Power pod and all that. Dang. Lost power. But okay, so I need plastics and silicones and I can repair some of this. I'm gonna have to get the grinder up and going so I can acquire plastics. Okay. So, these are actually things I really should get. There we go. Connect it to there. It's also gonna have a bunch of other things I'm gonna wanna grind up. However, now that I can actually make charging areas, specifically batteries, should be able to generate what I need. So yes, it does have a passive drain, which will be quite irritating, but it is what it is. Okay, so why am I having a hard time making connection port? Need fabric. That is actually a bit of an easier thing to do than I thought. There we go. Nice big old piece of fabric to be. And bottom. Okay. There. There, and then there. So now, in theory, I can grind up things that I need to grind up. And when I'm not using it, just shut it down. Okay, well, it's not really a great idea for me to have that much energy moving. Okay. Let's see if I can find a better way to get power down there, because running a cable all the way down the stairs seems like a very, very easy way to waste time. Also, just realized I have my flashlight on and I'm burning through battery power quite handily. So, reload the firearm. Reload my backpack. Reload the me. Of course, I've drained a massive chunk of power from that, which is not really what I wanted to do, but today, what's needed? We'll do our save. Health. And we shall go to intermission once again. I will see you in a moment. Alright, that's taken care of. Going to get back to the insanity that is this game. Hmm. I am half tempted to try to put a wind generator in here to see if I can use that. Okay. Plenty of things here I can grind up to what I need. However, I also have the issue of having too much stuff on me at the time. Nope. I do need to stop doing that. Deposit everything for now. Abel's back because battery chargers look useful. It is interesting, it takes just fresh water and That bothers me. I'm sure I can figure a way up there. Ooh. Knew there had to be something around here. While I may not have the power at the current moment, not mean I won't have the power. Oh, okay. Hello, your body will fuel my power projects. Mind surge. Okay, so can I actually bring people back and determine, you know, whether they're smart enough to survive? Okay, so this is where I came in. It's convenient. Or at least, it is convenient so long as I have power. Guess I should go up the stairs and start cleaning that out. I don't think I've gone this way, so... Ooh, that looks less than friendly, so let's go up this way. I might have to... Okay. So that still needs a tier 2 security upgrade, which probably be a issue for another time. Hmm. Oh. Spider-like creatures. That's absolutely going to be a pain in the butt. I know a lot of people who are just went from loving this game to terrified of it. Nope, 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 nope. Not playing that game today. Okay. Is this a food processor? So yes, this does seem like the kind of thing where I'm going to have the ability to have living humans. And no, I'd very much rather you all disappear. Hey. Hmm. Probably set for the backers. Wait. Right now, as it stands, not how I'm gonna get out of here. Hi, you're gonna come with me. We're going to use temporary. Oh. Fresh water. Not all what I was actually looking for. This is a bit worrisome because I'm able to acquire the things I need. Probably gonna have to head up to the surface then. Also, I can go in there now, but even beyond that. Hi. No idea where you came from, but um, those reduce my weight by quite a bit. So, put on the skills as much as I didn't want to. Okay. If I hit clear Q, I might be able to just take go down here and hit build me a pistol. That over to my holster. Level 2. That there. Okay, so I have an extra mag. Okay, so thing up here and go boop boop boop. Hey, good to know. For this exact minute. Boop. Hey. Again, no idea what those are. But I'm not going to beat on them since that, go there, take that. There. I've that. Ooh. Ow. Okay. So do not upset the whales. Oof. That's actually quite a ways back. Alright. So, yep, new rule. Don't upset the whales. Take power, go to there. Okay. Let's see about doing this right this time. Okay, so as far as I can tell, there is no point in making an ammo clip because it doesn't do anything. Also, don't like that that kind of sounds like creature trying to get to me. Okay. Okay, and then we go. Oh. Like, that save was before I got the humanitarian. Let me just carefully go in here. Back up my save. Heal a bit. And remember, I can't take those on. Cool. Product, yeah. None of which really helps too much. Okay. Fire my ID update again. I do wonder how I could get to that room, but current moment in time, I'm more interested in figuring out Okay, so I guess normal bullets work there. Okay, we go there. This should update the relay, even if it is very slow about it. What's this? How much power does this have? Hey, it's one way to do it. I wonder if I just... Yeah, that's probably the better setting to have this stuff too. And now power just flows where it's needed. And eventually it'll get up there, so not obsessively worried, just mildly concerned. Okay. Hey. At least in theory, I'm gonna help reduce the weight of my inventory as well. Increase my power capacity. So now I can go in here. Drop that. Boop.
Seems clearer now. Coordinates have been received.
That is quite useful information. Feel like that's a solar farm. That and that look like garages. I am not sure how I feel about that. Does that mean new boats? Different boats? Same boat in a different color? Okay. Okay. Okay, so you do go through ammo quite quickly in this. It's good to know that I can find my boat from here, but I feel like a lot of this is, I say, a good way to die. Okay. Now let me heal up. Back up. Now let me go down and see what is required to fix one of those Lazarus projects. I get the feeling it's going to then come down to make people food, because people are not smart enough not to eat cinder blocks. I don't know. Okay. I wish I could save the resource list. It seems like it would be a very useful thing to do. Let's see if I have any of these resources up in the tower, and then check the boat. A lot of that looks relatively easy. The hard part's gonna probably be the carbon fiber or the titanium, especially in any notable size. Whee! Again, no idea what these giant things do. Don't want to pick a fight with them because they seem very, very good at making me not there. So, there is 15 iron. Don't have enough plastics. Don't have enough gold. I do have enough glass. I have enough aluminum. I have rubber, but I don't have any titanium or any carbon fiber, so what I'm gonna do is grab this and this. Okay. Go there. No need for copper. Okay. Let's power that down and then head down to the boat. As far as I can tell, The boat is probably going to be my best bet for getting some of the resources. I really don't think I have any carbon fiber. Alright, I want to make sure I got that, because that's useful to have just in general. But other than that, I don't think I actually have a good way to gain the materials, so... High-tech scrap. That might be what I need, but I'm not gonna know. Okay. $10 gold, so 2 splits of 5. We need 20 plastics, and that will do. Again. Would think all the stuff I melted down, I would have at least one. Oh, well, there's carbon fiber, so that answers that. And then if I toss, what is this one? High-tech scrap? Okay, so high-tech scrap is where I've got to go for what I need. Means I'm gonna have to go back up there, find more high-tech scrap, and convert it over, so... That's gonna be a thing. Which also means I should probably grab one of my extra batteries. Again, no idea if putting a wind generator inside the building will work, but... Really have... See any more high-tech scrap? Nope, that would be too convenient. Button, call the elevator. What? Hey. Okay. Oh, do not attempt to change your ammo. Yep, on the fly. That was not fun. Okay. Well, power that down. Let's get this ammo going. And it seems like a good area to end the stream, at least for the day, as it will take a little while for all the pistol ammo to be completed. So what I'll do is I'm gonna lock myself in the room and call it a night. Thanks for joining me. I will be attempting to stream more often. I don't have a set schedule yet, but when I get there, I'll let you all know. Thank you. Have a great night.